So welcome back, everyone, again. So in regard to the practice, this morning we kind of talk a little bit about the visualizations and different what Tara, colors, postures, implements you hold, what they represent, what kind of inner quality it symbolizes and represents. And in terms of visualizations, especially when we do visualization cleansing and purifying and so forth, you find in some, not necessarily Tara's commentary, but in others, because all the daily practices are very similar, except for small differences. And sometimes they use just the light, cleansing and purifying. Sometimes they use just nectar. And sometimes they use both light and nectar. Especially in some, like in purification, for example, purification, there are three kind of purifications, what you call a downward, upward, instant. And when purification that is related with like Hiruka, then most times the visualization instant with the light, instantly purifying, like with the instant light that dispel the darkness. And because again, as I mentioned first Friday, Chakra Sambhara is related with Mother Tara. And in Mother Tara, in terms of the practice between the clear light wisdom and the illusory body, they emphasize on clear light wisdom. And because of that, even practice instant with the light is more related with the clear light. So that is why, but either is fine. Nothing's wrong. It is just, I cannot recollect where I saw it some time ago in one of the commentaries. It might have been Chandra Rinpoche, even though I'm not 100% sure, one of his commentaries. But somewhere I don't remember. In that commentaries, it mentions the reason of doing, when you do visualization, both the light and nectars. With the light, then when you do visualize with the light cleansing and purifying, it leaves imprint for the clear light mind, and with the nectar flowing and cleansing and purify, it leaves the imprint of illusory bodies. So in that way, with that tool, it is kind of combining both method and wisdom in that, and also leave the imprint of that. So leaves. Yeah. It trained imprint. It leaves, or it left, or it in other words, it imprints. It leaves imprint of the clear light and illusory body. The method and the wisdom. Okay. So therefore, I think in most practice, they use both. But again, you can just use one, just the light, nectar, both, all of them are okay. And each has their meaning and purpose. Mm-hmm. That is why I try to do both, even though in the practice it said that we're following, it's just the light. And also, I'm adding and changing a little bit here and there, mm. And of course, also we didn't go through details in that practice of purification when we're purifying the illness, spirit harm, the negative karma, delusions, obscurations. Since I guess within time it is long. So, but if you want to do more detail, more extensive, more detailed visualization related to that, when you visualize cleansing, and you can apply that to all the daily practice. When you visualize cleansing and purifying the illness, then all this illness or sickness, whether it's physical or mental illness, all being cleansed in the form of blood and pus, Then all the spirit harm in the form of unwanted bacteria or cells. In the scripture itself, it doesn't say that, okay? Many of the commentaries, it says like scorpions, snakes, bears, like that, But I personally find difficult visualizing that. So I change myself a little bit, in the form of unwanted cell, unwanted bacteria in that form, then cleansing, purifying, cleansing, all of that. And then in some of the negative karma and the delusions, then you can visualize in the form of dark, heavy energies, like chimney being washed, all the darkness, or maybe like when you haven't taken shower for months, and when you take shower after months, all the heavy darkness, all the heavy, so something like that, So those, and then in some even there is visualizations of opening the ground, cracks in the ground, and all this goes down, and then the Yama, the Lord of the Dead, is facing this way, and all this goes into his mouth, and he's very satisfied, and then and then satisfied, and then once he's satisfied, then there is a double gorges on his mouth, and then the crack, opening crack closings. So there are also, you can find those more exotic. If you are interested in the exotic visualizations like that, also there is such visualization as well. So there are many, and again, as I always mention, one of the beauty of Dharma is if you study and learn enough, it can be practiced in very simple way or it can be very exotic and very detailed and very extensive. And both of them just correct and right, you know. It's not one is right, one is wrong. It's just there is so many different methods. There are so many different methods, techniques that we can make it very simplified and easy, or we can make it more extensive, exhaustive, and depending. So that is a little bit related with the visualizations. Okay. And another thing that I don't know whether I think I might have explained when we're doing visualization, even though I'm not 100% sure. The syllable that we visualize, the mantra that we visualize, we always, any kind of syllables, mantra we visualize when we practice daily, we always have to remember it is not just an ordinary letter syllable. It's not just an ordinary mantra. It's made of syllables, letters, but not that. In essence, is that enlightened, compassionate wisdom energy of the enlightened beings. And that can manifest in all different forms. It manifests in the form of that deity, here Tara. It could manifest in the form of that thumb letter, syllable. It manifests in the mantra, Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Ri Soha. So all these are that wisdom, compassionate wisdom energy of Tara. And even the sound, Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Ri Soha, not just the letter, the sound, sound. That sound is also that energy, enlightened energy. So when we are able to see that, the practice becomes more powerful. Otherwise, we just visualize just ordinary sound, ordinary letter, then it wouldn't be so much effective. Same, the light, the nectar that flows from that that syllable, that mantra, is also not just a ordinary nectar and ordinary light. Is that exalted, compassionate wisdom energy of the Buddha. Even that, the light, the nectar that we visualize. And because it is that, so then it has the ability, potential to not only heal the illness, and purify negative karma, but also to transform and completely eliminate the delusion, the obscurations. If it's ordinary nectar's light, it wouldn't have that, it wouldn't be able to destroy, the contaminated karma and the delusion of obscurations. But this one, in essence, is that exalted wisdom of enlightenment, Dhammakaya wisdom. But it's in the form of that. So I think this is another factors that we have to remember every time, whatever daily practice you do, and with similar visualizations, always remembering that otherwise, on one side, we have seen the Buddha said in one of the sutra, I cannot wash your negative karma like taking a shower. I cannot take away your suffering like that. When someone has pricked by the needles in the pain, someone pulled the needles. I cannot pull your suffering like that. I cannot wash your negativities like by washings. Nor I can give or transplant my realizations. So the way I can help you by showing the path. I help you by showing the path. And whether you achieve liberation or not is up to you. Whether you follow the path or not is on your hand. That is what. Then on other side, here we do that visualization, cleansing, and with these nectars and light and purifying all. It might feel like almost like contradictions. How can our negative be washed away? Of course, those cannot be washed away by ordinary water, but is that wisdom? Is that wisdom, because that wisdom can overcome the delusions. That wisdom can cut the delusions. That wisdom can destroy the delusion, obscuration. And the only thing that wisdom it manifested in that form in these cases. So I think these are again another I feel important factors to be aware of and remember. I myself went through all these struggles trying to find non-contradictions and all of that, and after over the time analyzing, investigating that I have kind of find solutions for non-contradictions in my mind, so that when you practice, that you don't have the struggles, doubt, that when you do. And again, I haven't found any commentaries but that is how I myself find that to kind of to solve my own sense of doubt, contradictions. And I found helpful by seeing that way and remembering that and being aware of that. And that is why I share. If you also try to be aware of that, remember that, recollect that. Maybe if you have any kind of those kind of struggles and doubt that you had, or if you have, then it can be helpful, beneficial. So that is where I wanted to kind of, it is not like you are the only one who is struggling with a lot of those practices. Even though I was born in a Buddhist families, even though I went to the monastery from very young age, even though I received all this kind of initiation from very young age, even without knowing so much, and even though I've studied, still there are a lot of practice. Sometimes I struggle, and you have to find a way to overcome that struggles, through reading different commentaries, through discussing with others, practitioners. In my cases, with others, geshes, other practitioners, or if you have opportunity to ask your teachers that, like, even I don't have opportunity to ask all the questions with my teachers all the time. A lot of time is about discussion among Dharma friends. That is what it is. Dharma Sangha means that is what it is. Even in monastery, a lot of things we discuss among our classmates or with senior monks, and reading commentaries, because I might have to read some commentary, but I might not have to read all the commentaries. Someone might have read commentary that I have not read. they might be able to find something. And sometimes, you practice and you investigate, analyze, even you cannot find anything in the scriptures in terms of commentary, but then you find maybe some way to answer that struggles, answer that contradictions or that doubt, and so, yeah, don't think that I still have a lot of doubt myself, caution myself. I still have a lot of struggles in many. I just keep my mind open, Mm. So we are talking about that. Yeah. So we talk about and then next coming to the mantra itself, because in such practice, visualizations that we just discuss, and reciting the mantra is a strong part of that practice. In terms of reciting the mantras, as I mentioned, before, maybe not here, maybe Wednesday, there are three ways of reciting: is loudly, whispering, and mentally. And again, as I mentioned, it depends on purpose. Sometimes we recite loudly so others can hear and they can have the imprint, so animals or other beings. But when you are doing your retreat and your personal practice, you can just almost whisper, you can hear, but there's someone in other room or they don't hear. And sometimes you recite by the mind, not by the mouth. Instead of Om Mani Padme Hum, you recite in your mind Om Mani Padme Hum. And that, I find, if you do that, is more powerful, because there's no way you can get distracted. If you get distracted, you cannot recite Om Mani Padme Hum by your mind. You can recite with your mouth while you are traveling all over the world, your mind traveling all over the world, at beach, on the mountains, in the cities, everywhere. Still, you might be able to recite Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. But try to recite Om Mani in mind. The moment your minds run away, you cannot recite. So that's three different ways of reciting the mantras that is described. Okay. And even in Human-Founded College, like some of the mantras where you are supposed to recite 3 times, they only recite 1 time. 2 times they are reciting mentally, so they don't recite it. Someone who doesn't know, they say, oh, they only recite 1 time. How come it is supposed to recite 3 times? But supposedly they are reciting mentally. Okay. So that in terms of retreat, even in, whatever retreat you do, Para retreat or any other daily retreat, there are kind of three kind of retreat. One retreat is that you do retreat until there is a sign, some sign that you have accomplished your retreat. You might have vision of the deity, that is sign, or you might have other signs. Maybe you might have vivid very vivid dreams of the deities and related with that. Those are certain signs. So practitioner doesn't give up doing retreat until they see those signs. That means it could be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or it could be 1 month, 1 week, depending on the individual's practice connection. When Asanga was trying to practice Maitreya 12 years, it took him 12 years. He did retreat 12 years. The term, now I forgot the term in Tibetan for this retreat. There are three. And another retreat is time, It's not counting the mantras, but you say 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You try to do that retreat. And the most minimum, the least one is counting the mantras. There is certain requirement of mantra of that particular deity when we do approximate retreat or what we call near retreat. So there is a certain number of mantra you need to finish. And that kind of retreat is the minimum one. Okay? At the moment, we complain, but actually that is the minimum one, because, that could be finished more easily within certain times. So I think, yeah. So just I don't know. It came in my mind about because we were talking about the recitation of mantras. Yeah, recitation of the mantras. So we talk about how three different way of reciting mantras, and in terms of when we do the approximate retreat, the requirement of a certain number of the mantras in that. And those mantras have this, energy to, to heal, to inspire, to calm and to soothe your mind, and to generate, positive state of minds. Even ordinary sounds has those energy. If you take music, one certain music, when you listen it makes you very hyper, excited. Even someone who doesn't dance, when they have that kind of music, they started to move and shake. There is that kind of energy, And then certain sound, musics, very soothing, very calming, Your mind might be a little bit kind of disturbed, agitated, but the moment you listen to that music, that sound, it calms down your mind. It subdues your mind, soothes your mind. Certain musics give a lot of inspirations, Certain music, when you feel your mind low, very low, it uplifts you. So, and it is not only the music, that it has also in natural sounds, the water sounds, the sounds of the birds, animals, sound of the wind, Same way, our sounds also have different effect, And so the mantra, the sound of the mantras has those positive, effect, on many different levels, Even a lot of non-Buddhists, I know like in Nepal, and I'm sure also in other part of the world, even a lot of non-Buddhists listen to a lot of Buddhist mantras. And the reason they say it gives them so much peace and calm. The present Prime Minister of Nepal, he is a Hindu, But he mentioned he listened to some of the Buddhist mantras because it helped him to keep his mind calm, peaceful, soothing. There are a lot of people who listens, regardless whether you are Buddhist or not, whether you are spiritual or not, because they can feel that sounds as that soothing. So definitely the power of the mantras. There is a power of the mantras in long term, short terms. Long term, the imprint from that, the sound and the meaning and the syllables. There's a virtuous imprint left in mind, and immediately, there is a benefit of calming down your mind, cultivating inspirations, and so forth. Another thing that I've kind of, again, I don't know how much research has been done and how accurate, and probably many of you might have seen, heard, there's a Japanese doctor, Dr. Imoto, that he did with the crystal waters, and in his findings, he found the effect of the sound, words, thoughts, prayers, So then coming back to the Tara mantra, Om Tare Tu Tare Turi So, the meaning of the mantras. As you see in most mantras, it starts with the Om, Om is also known as the mantra of holding the jewel. And it says, even just reciting the Om, just Om mantra or just Om, it has a lot of benefit. And that is, I think, more or less kind of shared both Buddhist and Hindu, Even in Hindu, they recite that Om a lot. Also, it has a very beneficial sound, benefit. So in Buddhism, we talk about Om, Om is made out of 3 letters, A, O, Ma. A, O, Ma, 3 letters, and when there's A and on top, narrow, O, and then there is circle, there's Ma, and then together they make Om sound. And it represents the enlightened body, speech, and mind. And that is the kind of our spiritual kind of goal, our spiritual ideal goal, our spiritual goal. And that is our spiritual goal is to transform our unenlightened body, speech, and mind into enlightened body, speech, and mind. So to transform and reach the state of Om. Okay? To transform and reach the state of Om, which is enlightened body, speech, and mind. How to transform that? How to reach that state? Then tare turi soha. That is the path that lead to that. The method, the path that lead to that. Literally, it means dolma, dungal, dolma. It means, liberating mothers, liberating from the sufferings. So it is the name of the Dada, the liberating mother, the one who liberates sentient being from the sufferings. In Tibetan is Dolma, meaning Dolma is the Dada, meaning liberator. But again, there is a definite meanings of that is then Koale to Tarema, Tare means, or Tare is the one that liberates from the samsara. Liberate from the samsara. With that, what it shows is that, according to Lama Zopa Rinpoche, it shows the path of the first noble path, the path of sufferings. Noble path of the sufferings. The path that liberates from the suffering of the samsara. The 8 sufferings, 6 sufferings, 3 sufferings, all the sufferings of the samsara. The path that free or liberate from the samsara and suffering of samsara. Tutara jigedol. Om tare tutare. Tutare means liberating from the 8 fears. 8 fears or 8 dangers and 8 fears. And within that, there is external danger and external fear, and internal danger and internal fear. The external danger and external fear are like the danger and fear from the lion, elephant, poisonous snake, fire, floods, prisons, robbery, thief, and fear and danger from harmful spirit, so forth. So those are the 8 external fear. The internal fear, the internal dangers are state of mind, the delusions, the pride, attachment, jealousy, miserliness, the deluded doubt, wrong views, anger, so forth. Those are the internal dangers and internal fear. So with that, Tutare is the path that free from the external danger and fear as well as internal fear and danger. That internal fear and danger is those delusions. So that is the second noble path, the path of origin. The first one, the suffering of the samsara, is the path of first noble path, the path of suffering. Second one, what is the cause of that suffering? Is the path of origin and cause, that is the delusions and the karma. So free, first one with Tare, free from the path that free from the suffering. Second one, the path that free from the cause of the sufferings. Turi Nawanam Ledo. So Om Tare Tutare Turi. Turi is the one that frees from the illness. So when we talk about illness, we can talk about, again, external illness, internal illness. Okay? External illness, physical health issues, emotional, mental health issues, that that we encounter, we face, Sometimes physically we have challenges, difficulties, physical health challenge. Sometimes it is not physical health challenge, but we have emotional health challenges, So that is more kind of external illness. When we talk about internal illness, and that could means, the very root, it could, in one very root of all the delusions, the ignorance. That is the worst illness and the root of all the illness, the fundamental ignorance. And the path that free from that fundamental illness of ignorance is the wisdom realizing emptiness directly and the cessations. So with that, Turi explain, the path of cessation, the noble truth of cessation and the path. And that is what, Lama Sopa Rinpoche kind of explained in relation to Four Noble Truth. So in that cases, Tare Tutare Ture, Tare Tutare Ture is the path or method to reach the state of Om, transform enlightened body, speech, mind. How can we transform? How can we reach that state? Is by actualizing the Four Noble Truth, with realization of Four Noble Truth within ourselves, by practicing, engaging into that. I didn't see in Rinpoche's explanation, nor I saw in any other explanation, but I might like to add a little bit more on that, on the Turi, the last one, the illness, not only the fundamental ignorance, but the selfish attitude. The selfish attitude. Because if we take it as a minor path, and when you talk of transforming and achieving fully enlightened, transforming the fully enlightened body, speech, and mind, then you need not only the wisdom, you also need a method, the bodhicitta mind, that realizes that. And so therefore, is the bodhicitta mind that cure or that heal the illness of the ego, the selfish attitude. So the path that free or liberate from the illness of the fundamental ignorance and the selfish attitude, and that is the path of the wisdom and compassions. And through that, then, the Four Noble Truth, the path of Four Noble Truth, that is supported by the Bodhicitta mind. Together with that, then not only you can overcome the delusions, you can also overcome the subtle obscuration, the imprint led by the delusions, and by overcoming the obscuration of delusion and obscuration of knowledge, then one can achieve fully enlightened. And by achieving fully enlightened, one can transform your unenlightened body, speech, and mind into fully transformed enlightened body, speech, mind of the Om. Mm. And there is many stories, collection of stories from early times. There is a collection of stories, as I told by this great Tibetan master, Taranatha, as I said, around 17th centuries. He has collected, and compiled many of the practice of Tara, stories of Taras, and stories of devotees or disciples who rely on Tara and how they were free from all these many, many dangers, many, many fears. I don't know whether, and in that there is stories of different practitioners, different devotees who are faced with different dangers, different fears at different times and different circumstances. With all the 8 fear and danger we just described, external 8 fear and danger we described, and also others, and where they rely on Tara, having a strong faith, strong faith in such situations. And by recalling her, with a strong faith, by recalling her and praying her, somehow situation changes and they are kind of relief of that fear, that dangers. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to read it or not, but here there's full of stories in that. Okay, I might, I'm not sure, but the essence, whether I read the story or not, but in all those stories are related with that they face different fear, different dangers, and then they all rely on Mother Tara in that moment, in that time. And by relying on the Mother Tara, something happens, something changes. I have a friend, even now, he's also very devoted. He's an American, okay, very devoted to Tara. And he says one time, and he's not making up, okay, his wife, children's. One time he lost his cat. I think it was cat or dog in the night. And he was kind of going into the kind of forest nearby to look for that, and he got lost. He got lost. And he got lost. He got lost in directions, everything's, and then something happened with his feet. Just collapsed like that, so he couldn't even walk, you know. And he remembered Tara. As I mentioned, he's very strong devotee of Tara. And so he recalled Tara, you know, he recalled, and he said some kind of light came, showed the path. Because he was lost. It was in the middle of some forest. There was no light, anything, and he couldn't walk. And so he just, what do you call, crawl with that help of that light that showed the direction. With that direction, he was able to make it home. And he was bleeding because of crawling and all of that. And immediately once he was at home, they called 911 and he was taken to the hospital and all of that. But that is what happened to him. He prayed to Tara. He recalled the Tara because he didn't know what to do. In that moment, there was nothing he could do. And he, you know, he swear that there was some kind of green light, almost like someone with a torchlight that's showing the path. And he followed that path, and that is how he reached his home because he couldn't walk. And so, anyway, these are some stories in our times. Someone that I know, you know, not the Tibetans, you know, and I know his story because we are close, and he shared that story. There are so many people that probably have some other experiences, which I don't know, but I'm sure there are many other stories like that. So again, you know, so anyway, so we're talking about the, yeah, because we're talking about the fear. We're talking about the meaning of the mantras, and then, and so therefore Tara is, again, you know, as we discussed before, you know, known to overcome the obstacles, you know, and especially overcoming those fear and worry. And the fear and danger is one of the things that we deal all the time in our life, you know, constantly, constantly. Is there a time when we are not worried? Is there a time when we are not fearful? You know, of course, certain time the fear is very intense, you know, but sometimes the fear might not be so intense, but there is always some fear, you know, always fear. Fear about yourself, your situation, fear about your friends, fear about your families, you know, fear about the your countries, fear about the world. Mm. So then, you know, Mother Tara is powerful, powerful deity to rely on to overcome those fear and danger. As I mentioned, not only the external fear and danger, but especially the internal fear and dangers. Mm. The of course it comes the from the Tara Sutra. There is a sutra on Tara, you know. So there is a described there, but also there is a prayer composed by the first Dalai Lama to the Tara, um, Lakrima, and in that he compared the external and internal fears and the dangers. So the fear of lying, the fear of lying or the danger of lying internally is the danger and fear of pride, ego, self-importance, you know. And that is much more dangerous than the external lying, you know, your ego mind, you know, your ego mind, you know, that is where you feel you are the supreme, you are the best, you are best, better than everyone else. Sense of, you know, arrogant, pride, ego, that is most dangerous. Then that is much more danger. You should be more fearful of that than the lying. One should be more fearful of that internal danger than the external danger from the lying. And of course, generally, lions are supposed to be the king of the animals. So, kind of like they are the. So, when we have ego and arrogant, that is how we feel, you know, similar. You are the king. Mm. And then wild elephant is a delusion and ignorance. I don't know exactly how those two, um, uh, some of them you can see, you know, like lion and pride, you know. Delusional ignorance is related with the elephant, but I don't know exactly. But again, you know, there is absolutely danger of wild elephant, you know, especially if you live close by. Like where our monasteries was in South India, there's a huge forest. The monastery and whole Tibetan settlement, whole area used to be forest before. So when that state government offered to take those refugees, they give this land and then they cut all the forest to make it a land for them to build the refugee settlement and farmings, you know. So next there, there's a big forest, you know, huge forest, and there's a lot of wild elephant. And it's dangerous, you know. A lot of people have been killed, you know, over the years, you know. And sometimes they come and destroy all the fields. So they try to have wire, you know. It didn't help. They built all the ditches. That didn't stop them. Then they started have all this wiring. It didn't stop them. And they started to have electrics to the wire. But those are smart. They knew, and they knocked down the poles. You know, they know if they touch the wire, they will be electrocuted. You know, what you call shock. But they knew if they can knock the poles, it doesn't have. So they knocked down all these poles. You know, so it is a big problem for the farmers there. It's a big problem for the farmers there. And so, you know, also there are instances where people have been killed, you know. Of course, I don't know the whole, what happened and how it happens, the details, but there are stories where people being killed. So there is danger of wild animals, such as wild elephant. You have to be careful. But the danger that is posed by the ignorance is much more worse than the danger posed by the wild elephant. You know, The white elephant, the worst it can do is take your life. Worst that it can do is take your life, one life. The ignorance, take away all your happiness. Not one lifetime, countless lifetime. That ignorance can imprison you in the samsara endlessly. That ignorance, can destroy the happiness and life of not just one life, many, many life, countless lifetimes. So if there is something that you have to be more fearful, if there is something that you have to be more careful, if there is something that you have to be more watchful, mindful, you have to be with the ignorance. You have to be more careful with the ignorance. You have to be more watchful with the ignorance. You have to be more mindful with the ignorance. You have to be more fearful of the ignorance. So yeah, we will stop here. Tangcho Sanjo Rinpoche, Make Bana Gechoche, Kawa Nyamba Mebaya, Only Konto Pewa. Yeah, 3:30, yeah. And of course, there is caution time for the last session. So you all, if you have any questions, write down. You don't forget. And in the last sessions, then you can bring the questions. Okay. So welcome. So we'll do the practice. Okay. Maybe I will try to keep this time a little bit short. I think before. Okay, again, try to relax and quiet your mind by watching the breath. And then we can try to think the purpose of my life is to help and benefit all sentient beings. And the best way to help the sentient beings is to help them to overcome the root of all the sufferings, which is their own contaminated karma and the delusions. And to help them to achieve ultimate happiness or fully awakened state. And to be able to help in that way, I must achieve fully enlightened state myself as soon as possible. Therefore, I'm going to actualize that fully enlightened state. And for that, I'm going to engage in a practice of Tathara. And again, as you can visualize your enemy in front of you, surrounded by all people that beings that you have conflict or dislike. On the right hand side, you can visualize father and mother surrounded by all your relatives, friends, colleagues, that you have good relationships. And behind you can visualize the strangers with whom you don't have good relation nor bad relationship, and all who are in that category. And surrounding them, all sentient beings, all in human form. Then you visualize in the space in front of you, you know, Guru Mother in essence is your guru, but in the form of Mother Tara. And she has red and green light body, very beautiful, looking with wisdom eyes, smiling with compassionate smile. And seated on multicolored lotus, her left foot drawn in like in meditation posture, and her right foot out, resting on little multicolored lotus. And she represents the power to act, to cut through the problem, to get things done, to remove all obstacles. And so you can imagine, and she's young, radiant, full of energy, full of bliss, and her right hand in the gesture of grinding sublime realizations, holding the Upala, blue Upala lotus, and her left hand in the gesture of grinding refuge, again holding the Upala, blue Upala lotus. And she wears, you know, colorful divine garment and all the ornaments on her crown, ear, ankle, arms, necks, and try to imagine, feel strongly that this Mother Tara, the green Mother Tara, is in real, in essence, is our Guru in that form. They are the same being. And also you try to feel that the green Mother Tara is the manifestations of all the Buddha's enlightened activities, energy. Hmm. And then you try to generate a strong wish to free yourself and all sentient beings from all the suffering and cause of suffering. And to wish to be free from all the suffering and samsara and cause of suffering and samsara. In order to free oneself and all sentient beings from the samsara and cause of samsara, that I'm going to take refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Guru Mother Tara, who can help, support, to guide and free from all the suffering and cause of suffering in samsara. With that strong faith, trust in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Guru, Mother Tara, so we go for refuge. Okay, page number 3, refuge in bodhicitta. Yeah. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly by marriage from giving and other perfections. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly by my marriage from giving and other perfections. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye chodang soge chonam la changchu patu dani kyapsu che dagi jin sogi be chonam ge dola penje sangye du parasho. Then for immeasurable, again, we spend few minutes with each of them to feel it. May all sentient beings have happiness and causes have happiness. Especially we try to feel that for those whom we have conflict and we dislike. Because that is most difficult for us to feel. Next, may all sentient beings be free from suffering and causes of suffering. Next, may all sentient beings never be separated from happiness that knows no suffering. Next, may all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of attachment, hatred for those who are distant. I prostrate reverently within my body, speech, and mind. I present clouds of every type of offering, both actually arranged and mentally emanate. I confess all my negative actions and downfall collected from beginner's time. I rejoice in the virtues of ordinary beings and Aryas. Please remain until the end of cyclic existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for transmigrated beings. I dedicate my own and others' virtues to the great enlightenment. Then maybe we can do in Tibetan. Gu be go ni cha cha lo, we shang ye zhu che di ma lu bu, to me sa di gung tam che sha, ge pa ge wa nam la je rang, o mo to pa tu le shu le, do la che ge ko lo ko tang, da shi ge na chang chu chen bo ro ngo, sa shi pe ki chung shin me do She ye de ye ba sang ge so mi de yo nama da she a che pa sho idam guru rana mandala ne ayami. So again, I will kind of recite the purification practice. So again, you imagine, at Tara's broad chakras, there is a Om, white Om syllable surrounded by white Tara mantras. And from that, Tara send a very powerful, blissful white light and nectar and enter your brow and completely fills with you. So we recite Tara mantra 7 times. So while we recite that, you try to visualize that as much as possible. Om Tare tu re soha. 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 So you imagine with that powerful, blissful light and nectar, all your problems, suffering, happiness, and grossness of your bodies are completely being purified by the light and the nectar. And all the harms you have ever done to any living beings with this body and all your infinite past bodies are also completely purified. Not even one atom left, not even one trace of that. Just like, completely being flush of all in the bathroom, totally cleans. Then again, you can imagine more powerful, blissful light and nectar enter your body through the eyebrow and receive all the blessings of the enlightened body. And your body become blissful light body, just like the Tara's rainbow body, light body. Nothing grows like our body. And this body indestructible. And this enlightened body, anyone who sees, your negative karma purified, their mind is calm, soothing, giving them inspirations. just by seeing the body, it brings incredible benefit, lead them to the path. So while trying to feel that, we recite this time. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Soha. With total convictions again. You really imagine, visualize, you receive that enlightened rainbow light body. Transform. Then you visualize red R syllable at the Tara's throat chakra, surrounded by again red Tara mantras. Again, from there, light and nectar, powerful, blissful light and nectar flow, enter through your throat, feeling your whole body, every part of your body, atoms, And then it purifies all the problems of our speech, such as inappropriate speech, useless speech, uncontrolled speech, angry, out of control speech, harsh speech, the inability to express yourself appropriately, and that all the harm that you have ever done with any living beings with your speech in this life and in all infinite past life is totally purified, totally destroyed, eradicated by this blissful red light and nectar. So while giving that strong visualization, we do Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 So visualize with all conviction, all the unhelpful, negative problem of speech had completely cleaned, purified. All the negative karma created by the speech has been completely purified. Not even one atom left any trace. Again, from that throat chakra, powerful, blissful light and nectar flow again, comes again, and then, you receive, and totally full of all the blissful, perfect, compassionate wisdom, appropriate speech of the Tara. With that speech, enlightened speech, like the Mother Tara's enlightened speech, such that whatever sound you utter, whatever you say, is necessarily beneficial to any living beings who hear it. It becomes dharma, nectar, benefit. And we have all these potentials, full of such potentials. So try to feel full of this incredible, powerful energy of your speech to benefit others. So while trying to feel this full of powerful energy of the speech, we recite 3 times. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Then next, visualize at Tara's heart chakra. There's a blue hung surrounded by the blue Tara mantras, And again, Tara scent, very powerful, blissful beams of blue light in the nectar, which enter your heart chakra. And with that, all your unhappiness of your mind, your confusion, arrogance, attachments, anger, jealousy, pride, resentment, feeling hurt, anxiety, self-hate, self-doubt, or whatever that is, all totally purified. Totally purified. And that all your delusions, including the root ignorance, the ego grasping, which are the cause of our own suffering, and why you harm others is because of those delusions. And so all these delusions are totally eliminated by that powerful, blissful blue light and nectar. Not even one atom is left, totally gone. So while keeping that visualization strongly, we recite 7 times. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 So imagine all your delusions have been completely cleansed, purified. Especially, any particular delusions that might be bothering us at the moment, Imagine, visualize that has been totally healed, purified, transformed. There's no more there. Then again, from the Tara's heart and the syllable and the balance and mantra, powerful, blissful, blue light and nectar again flow, and then you are full of blissful, omniscient, compassionate mind of Guru Tara, which is your full potential. So you are filled with, non-anger, which is loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta mind. Non-attachments, which is full of wisdom, relies on impermanent. Wisdom relies on unattractiveness. and non-ignorance, the wisdom realizing dependent arisings, the wisdom realizing for noble truth, the wisdom realizing emptiness, selflessness. So visualize receiving all those inner realizations. So while trying to feel that your whole body is filled with those inner realization, and because of that, filled with all the blissfulness in every part of every cell part of your body. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. The next, you visualize, yellow saw, like soha, like saw, SPSO, letter at her navel chakra. And from that, and surrounded by yellow Vrindara mantra, and from the syllable and the mantras, powerful, blissful laser beam of yellow light and nectar flow that penetrate your navel chakra and filling your whole, healing you completely with that energy, powerful, blissful energy. And with that, it purifies totally your feeling of hopelessness, powerlessness, feeling discouraged, feeling low, and inability to act effectively and clear all the blocked energy, to really act, not only act, to act beneficial, positive, wholesome way. All of that has been completely cleansed and purified. So again, while you try to keep that visualization, we recite some mantra. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. 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 And again, as more powerful, blissful white and yellow light and nectar flow from the navel chakra and the mantras of garlands, feeling your whole body and receiving all the blessings of the enlightened qualities, especially, the quality of courage and confidence, like Mother Tara, and to be able to act effectively. Mm. And to remove the qualities, to remove all the obstacles and the qualities to make the positive quality or energy to make things happen and move, receiving all of those energy. And feeling your whole body with a great bliss due to those external, due to those blissful energy. So try to feel that blissful energy. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. So next we visualize Ha, H-A, Ha, like so, Ha, Ha. Green at the Tara sacred chakra, and again surrounded by green Tara mantra. And from there, again, very powerful, blissful beams of green light and nectar flow penetrate your sacred chakra, filling you completely and purify all your out of control, unhappy attachments, energy, all of your yearning, desire, which make you miserable and unclear, unsatisfied, and which also cause you to harm others. Not one atom of those negative energies left, all totally gone. So while keeping that strong visualization, strong feeling, all of those have been totally eliminated, destroyed. Recite 7 times. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. 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 Then again, visualize or imagine more green, blissful, powerful, blissful green light, nectar, interpenetrate your sacred chakra, filling you completely with great bliss, satisfactions, contentment, fulfill, fulfill, fulfillment, happiness, and pleasure. And every part of your cell, every part of your atom is filled with this great bliss. While feeling that great bliss in every part of that, recite it. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. Now you visualize, all these 5 color, powerful, blissful, 5 color nectar, light and nectar flow from all 5 chakras simultaneously, like snowing or raining, penetrating your 5 chakras, filling you with all your body with that rainbow light, blissful nectar. And with that, imagine that all the subtle obscurations of the knowledge that was left by the delusions are also completely purified, destroyed. Not even one atom is left. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. 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 So now try to feel that you are free from all the obscurations and have actualized all the inner positive qualities. There's no more to eliminate, abandon, and there's no more to achieve anything now. No more to actualize anything. And feel, now I have achieved my highest potential, fully awakened state. Feel the great blissfulness. A state that is totally free from all the negativity, obscurations. State that has completed and perfected all the positive qualities. And then you can imagine or visualize the lotus of the Tara dissolve into the Tara, Mother Tara, and the Mother Tara descend on top of your crown in the same direction like yourself. Then she melts, dissolve into light, green light, and then green light dissolve or melt into your crown, enter through your central channels, and go to your heart chakra, where she merged with your very most pure and subtle consciousness, that the most clear light, your clear light consciousness. With that, the Guru's enlightened mind, Tara's enlightened mind, and your most subtle mind of clear light mind, they all become one, inseparable. Try to concentrate on that oneness of those three minds. It's like water being poured on water, and now there is no distinguishing. You cannot distinguish. It's totally one, inseparable. And then you can think all sentient beings surrounding yourself, as vast as space, they all want to be happy like ourselves. They do not want suffering, just like ourselves. Even those with whom we are conflicting with dislike, there are no difference, just same. Even that is the case, but due to their own karma and delusions, they continue to struggle to find true happiness and continue to experience suffering, never ending, like waterfall, continuously. Try to understand and feel compassion, the wish to free them from all those suffering, cause of suffering. And now, when I have achieved my highest potential, it's my duty, it's my responsible to help them to free, liberate from all the suffering, cause of suffering, and guide them to ultimate happiness. There's nothing other things to do than that. Try to develop that strong thought, aspiration, wish to help them. As we recite the mantras, either again, if you have received the initiation, you can visualize as Tara. Otherwise, you can visualize Tara at your heart. And at the heart of the Tara, there is a thumb letter surrounded by the Tara mantras. As we recite the mantra from that syllable and the garlands of mantras, powerful, blissful, green light, beams of light and nectar flow in all 10 directions. With each of beam, there is small Mother Tara on top of each of those sentient beings. And then it purifies and heal all their suffering, cause of sufferings, and lead them to fully enlightened state of Guru Mata Tara. So while keeping that visualization, we do Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So 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 Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So. So then you can imagine, visualize, all sentient beings has all the suffering and cause of suffering, all the illusion, obscuring, completely cleansed, purified. Receive the blessing of enlightened body, speech of Mother Tara. And they all are transformed into Mother Tara. The whole space is filled, every atom space is filled with Mother Tara. So all the lights of beam, and on which each of tip of those top where there is a Mother Tara that we send, they all dissolve back to your heart chakra. So then we do this following request, page number 7. Yeah. Please, root Guru, glorious and precious, remain upon a lotus at my heart, and looking after me truly your great kindness, grant me realization of body, speech, and mind. Then you can visualize and imagine whole universe, whole universe, whole galaxy universe, the planet that we live in, the world we live in, the country, the place that we live in, all of them dissolve into your body. Then your whole body, dissolve from the top to the heart chakra and from the bottom to the heart chakra. And not only your body dissolve, all your perceptions, sensitive perceptions, and all your thoughts, all those elaborate conceptual constructions, all the concepts, as well as the thought of I, they all dissolve into emptiness. They all dissolve into your heart chakra, the more subtle mind or clear light. They all dissolve. So what is left is, your most subtle, pure, clear light consciousness that is inseparable from the Guru and Tara's enlightened consciousness, which is as vast and spacious, totally empty of all this solid growth, not only the physical growth, but also all these perception, conceptions, totally empty of that. And you think, I am the Dharmakaya. This mind is the Dharmakaya of wisdom. And this is who I am. And feel completely this spaciousness, vastness, emptiness, blissfulness. And contemplate how the self, the mind, and all phenomena are empty of existing from its own side. Totally empty of existing in its own side. Exists from by itself inherently. Totally empty. Try to rest, remain in that emptiness. How the self, the mind, and everything else is merely imputed, merely labeled. Nothing more than that. Nothing more, nothing less. They only exist by merely name, merely designations imputed. That is all. Nothing from his own side. Again, you know, um, try to generate a strong wish to be held benefit to all sentient beings. And with that strong wish to be held benefit to sentient beings, the most pure and subtle clear light mind, realizing the emptiness, manifests in the form of light, and the light manifests, into your body. If you have Tara initiation, you can even visualize as a Tara manifesting in the form of Tara, that wisdom. Okay. Um, so we do the 21 Tara. Yeah. Is page, next page. Page number, I guess, 9. From your sublime abode at the Potala, Potara born from the green letter thumb, your crown adorned with Amitabha, action mothers of Buddhas of 3 times, Tara, please come with your attendants.
The gods and demigods bow to your lotus feet, O Tara. You who rescue all who are destitute. To you, Mother Tara, I pay homage. Maybe can you recite with the chanting?
The praises. We did that one, right? Praises. Next page.
Page number
Yep,
10.
thank you. I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Amidst Tara's swift heroic, eyes like lightning instantaneous, sprung from open stamens of the Lord of three worlds, tear-born lotus. Amidst she whose face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest, blazing with light rays resplendent as 1,000-star collection. Amidst golden blue and lotus, water born and adorning, giving effort, calm austerities, patience, meditation, her sphere. Homage crown it at Dagatas, actions triumph without limit. Relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection. Homage filling with tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with her feet the seven worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage worship by the All Lord, Chakra Agni Vamararu, honored by the hosts of spirits, corpse raisers and Rakshas. Homage with her trade and pay sounds, destroying foes' magic diagrams, her free pressing left a right in, blazing in a raging fireplace. Homage to a very dreadful destroyer of Maria's champions. She with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies. Homage at her heart, her fingers, adorn her with three jewel mudra. Light ray masses all excited, all directions wheels adorn her. Homage she so joyous, radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful laughing with tutare, subjugating Mara's Davis. Homage she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking frowning with her whom sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage crown adorned with crescent, moon all ornaments more shining, Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage she mid wreath ablaze like eon ending fire abiding, righteous love and joy surrounds you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage she who strikes her ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter Huma. 7 levels she does conquer. Homage, happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is pierced nirvana. She endowed with omen soha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage, she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder. Frees with human knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage to a whisky letter of the shape of syllable. Foot my foot stamping shakes the 3 worlds. Meru Mandara Inviya. Homage holding in her hand the hair mark moon of Deva lake form, with twice spoken Tara and Pei, totally dispelling poison. Homage she whom gods and their kings and the kinnaros do honor, armored in all joyful splendor. She dispels bad dreams and conflicts. Homage she whose true eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon, with twice Hara and Tutare, she dispels severe contagion. Homage full of liberating power by the sight of 3 natures, destroys hosts of spirit yakshas, and raise corpses supreme to these praises with the rude mantras and prostrations thus are 21.
We can recite the short versions, twice in English, one Tibetan. Om, I prostrate to the goddess for destroyer, liberating Lady Tara. Homage to the Tara Severis heroine, with Tara dispelling all fear, granting all benefit to Ture. To her with the sound Soha I bow. Om I prostrate to the goddess for destroyer, liberating Lady Tara. Homage to the Tara's heroine, to Dware dispelling all fear, granting all benefit to Dure. So far I vow. Om Chom Den Den Ma La Mo Do Ma La Cha Sa Lo Cha Sa Do Ma Ta Re Pa Mo Tu Da Ra Ye Ji Kun Se Ma Tu Ri Tu Na Tam Che Te Ma So Wa Yi Ki Che La Ra Pu. Dedications. Yawa Di Nyo Do Ta La Ma Jason Thomas Dugan Do Chi Chang Ma Lu Pa Te Sa La Pu Pa Sho Chang Chu Sen Cho Ren Bo Che Ma Ke Pa Na Ke Gyo Che Ke Wa Nyam Ba Me Ba Yang Kong Le Kong Do Pe Wa Ra Sho Ari Ra We Kor We Shin Kan De Chen Dan De Wa Ma Lu Chung We Ne Che Ren Sen Wa Ten Zin Kya So Ye Sha Be Si Be Pa Tu Ten Gyo Chi Tu Tu Chang Xin Chang Gen Kya We Ten Zin Jiang Pe We Kun Su To Po Ro Zui Cho Song Ko We Le Mo Tu Tu Pa La So Du Je Guen Du Nyu Chen Shou. So I think we'll do the multiplying all later at the end of the last sessions. So when is there a break? What is the okay? Okay, almost 5. And if you need to use a restroom, please feel. But otherwise, any questions, please, whether in persons or in Zoom, please feel.
Susan had a question already, so. Oh, no, you have questions. You can ask more than one. Just go to the trigger.
Okay. Thank you so much for today. I asked you at lunch, but I was wondering about the last 2 syllables.
Soha.
Yeah, we hadn't done soha, and so I was.
Yeah, thank you for reminding, because I forgot that when we were talking about the meaning of the mantra Om Tare Tu Tare Ture. I guess because we are still in okay. So Soha that you see in many others mantra as it means be established or be rooted in your heart. So the practice Tare Tu Tare Ture, which is the path of Four Noble Truth, or path of the wisdom and the compassion, that path, that realization, may it be rooted in your heart, may it be established in your heart. So that is what Soha means. Okay.
Do we have more questions? Are we quiet? There's one on, yes, there's one on Zoom.
Yep.
Either please unmute or drop it into the chat and I'll read.
It's in chat.
Oh, I don't have it. I'm sorry. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Geshe, thank you, Kimberly, for your question. Kimberly asks, Geshe, where is the secret chakra?
That's why it's secret. I cannot describe because it is secret.
So you have to find and figure out. No, the secret chakra is where your organs are. That is
Thank
what.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that is what is called secret. Secret chakra. Yeah.
And then we have, oh, you have
Yes.
Thank you. I have two just practical questions.
Yes, please.
You mentioned the 3 different ways to say the mantra.
Uh-huh.
I noticed, so I have a CD of the Tara
Mhm.
mantra and I play it in the car and on my way places. And sometimes I do it with the intention I'm going to chant the mantra, but sometimes I just like to have it in the background. I'm thinking about my client I'm going to or something. Is that okay to just have it on as a, or should you only have it on when you're going to be chanting the mantra?
No, you can always play all the time. Okay, just by hearing it, it leaves positive imprint in your mind. Like certain practitioners, because they listen all the time, they recite all the time. Because of that, sometimes they started reciting even when they are in sleep. That is wonderful. You know, I had one friend, monk, when we were traveling, and there are a few times when we share a room, and I wake up in the middle of the night and it's something like whispering. And I check, he's asleep, but he's reciting mantras. And I noticed quite a few days like that, you know. And also, I was told, because I wasn't there when, um, when my father passed away, and when he was in hospital, um, after he broke his fall and broke his leg and for surgery, and also my brothers, they noticed like he was reciting mantra while he was sleeping, and because that is something he does whole day, whole days, prayers, mantras, morning like 3:30, 4:30, he wake up, he start doing his prayers, practice mantra. Throughout the day, he just recite. During the day, sometime when he's tired, he take a little nap, but otherwise he will start, And so when someone recite all the time, and when you're constantly listening to all the time, the imprint is so strong, even if you are not conscious, you started to recite, and it's wonderful. I was told, my father passed away on the way to a hospital from the house, but he got a little worse while he was reciting mantras. So again, that is because when someone has been reciting so much, it comes. And so I think it's good that you have that imprint, so definitely, even you are not reciting consciously, or even you are not paying so much attention to, because you are doing other things, washing, cooking, gardening, whatever, but just play the mantras is good imprint for yourself. It's good for if you have animals or other beings, for them to also hear. So yeah, it's wonderful.
Well, thank you, because I felt so guilty because I'm not chanting it while it's on. So now I can relax. Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I had a second question. Is that all right?
Yes.
This is again a practical question. So I have two, actually white Tara, but 2 Tara statues that were blessed by Garchen Rinpoche. And now that I feel kind of re-inspired about Tara, I'm wondering how to clean them. I remember being told you shouldn't clean the face, but I'm wondering how to practically care for them properly.
You can clean, but you have to be careful because the gold, painted gold, are very fragile.
So you cannot use anything that is wet. Otherwise, you clean, the gold comes and there is damage. So then, but it is gold plated like this ones, you can clean it, But the face is not gold plated, it's actually gold painted. So you have to be careful when you move, you have to cover something so that it doesn't damage that part. And so when you clean, you can clean with something dry, some kind of feather or something like that, slowly, gently, the face. That is the part you have to be more cautious. Most of the statues are, the face is gold painted, not gold plated. Gold plated is easy to, it doesn't. So that's what you can do.
And should you get them re-blessed, or once they're blessed once,
But you can re-bless, reconsecrate all the time. In the monastery, they do consecration every year. The holy objects that is in there every year. Some monastery, they do extensive consecration, 3 days, every year. And all the holy objects, holy places, every teachers, every lamas, they consecrate. So that become, the more is consecrated, the more blessed it is, the more holy it is. Many of those holy places, stupas, monasteries all over the world, every time High Lama or any comes, they request blessing. Every time they do blessings. Every time His Holiness come to the end of the monastery, they request blessings. And then not only His Holiness, any other Lama comes, and the monks themselves do the consecration. So you can do consecration blessing all the time. So there is nothing wrong. It's been better. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I have a.
Yes, there is.
First, I'm horrible at visualizations. So
I think we are in the same. We are in the same boat.
I hope so. But every now and then I manage to visualize her, and when she comes to me, she's always white.
It's always white.
Always white. Does that mean white Tara is my idam, or is there another message in it for me? How do I interpret that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I cannot say for sure, just because we see certain color when we visualize them, it doesn't always mean that we are connected with a particular deity with that color. It doesn't necessarily mean it. It could mean, I cannot say for sure, because just like some people have difficulty of certain colors and they have more easy with certain color, so sometimes that could be like some people has what color blind, like that, either seeing or also in visualization sometimes. So that I cannot say for sure. But I think it's good. I think that green Tara, white Tara could be Oidam, so I think, so, and coming back to the visualizations, yes, a visualization can be developed and improved through practice, but naturally some people are very good at visualizations. And some people are not so good, naturally, And even some people, even after they train their mind to visualize sometimes, it might not be so easy for them. Some can improve, get better quickly,
Some people might take a long time, but you don't have to worry so much about that. The visualizations is two things. The purpose of visualization, you can say there are two purposes. One is to improve our concentrations, to be able to visualize and keep that visualization and improve our concentrations. But it is not necessary to have visualization to improve concentrations. There are many others methods to improve your concentrations. That is one of the methods, so that is one purpose. The other purpose is to really feel it. Visualization is a method, is a technique or method to connect with the deity, to feel connection with the deity. But if you can feel and connect with the deity without visualization, that's just fine. Because the visualization, some people use for concentrations, to improve concentrations. But one of the main reasons or way of a lot of those visualizations is really to connect with the deity, to feel and connect with the deity. And if you can do that even without visualization or without good visualization, that's fine. But of course, if you have a strong visualization and strong, clear visualization, it's more easy to feel connected. For some people, they can, and it is mentioned in the practice of generation stages in Hatha Yoga. When you perfect that stages of generation stages, your visualization becomes so clear and so strong. Of course, one within this small tiny of drop, it's very small. You can visualize the whole mandala all clearly. Within very small, when you have perfected that kind of concentrations. And it says it is so, your concentration improves so much, visualization, concentration. It feels like the being is there real in persons, as though you can actually touch it. It's just in your visualization, but it's so clear and so strong that the practitioner almost can feel there is someone there, almost feel like they can touch, almost feel like you can talk. So it can reach that point for certain practitioners, especially when they have completed and perfected that stages. But again, in generally speaking, as I mentioned, it's a method to connect, feel, and so that is more important. To feel the Buddha, the deity Tara there, and connecting, feeling that she's there. And even with other visualization, cleansing, receiving blessings, whether you visualize it very clear with each color and all of that or not, but really feel that all negativities has been cleared and purified. Having convinced and feeling strongly is the more important. And so all these different visualization are, in one way, it's a tool to feel those, is a tool to feel that, Yeah. Yeah.
Geshe, thank you so much. I have two questions, and I was trying to find a photo, and I couldn't find one. But Geshe, could you please talk about the self-arising taras that are in some holy places in Nepal?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. The second question, you have an option. The second question I have.
No, I'll explain. And there is one Tara that is known as self-arising from the rock in one side of the Nepal, not too far away from Kathmandu, probably 2 hours. And as I mentioned before, I'm one of those cynical persons. Even I'm born in such environment, still I have a lot of doubt um, in so many things. So I have difficulties or doubt about when they talk about self-arising, self-spoken statues, self-arising statues, all those things, But when it comes to this Tara, even though I have difficulty with, there are so many different statues in Tibet, Nepal, other places where they explain this was self-spoken Tara and spoke with one particular master or someone, this and this. This is self-arising. You never know. It could be true or not true, It is possible. I cannot say it's not possible. As we mentioned, the Buddha's enlightenment can manifest in so many different forms and anything. So it's possible. But sometimes it's a little bit difficult to believe everything they say, But this Tara, I have more confidence in this particular Tara. Because this used to be a farm field, and it was on the road to one place of Emasambawa place. There is a cave that where he meditated. So when you go to that places, at the very beginning, there's a big rock in the field. And that is when someone noticed some kind of, not Tara at the very beginning, some kind of image, not clear image. And so over the years, slowly, that image, almost like coming, started becoming more clear, and it becoming Tara. So to me, it doesn't seem like someone is really kind of carving the way it is, and it is not like it doesn't happen in a week, month, a year, over many years, where the clarity comes, and the shape from knowing some shape, but not knowing exactly then to clear Tara shape, And eventually, next to that, there is another image of Ganesh, even bigger than that one. Again, that Ganesh image is much bigger and it arises more quickly, But also that is supposed to be also the self-arising, and it could be. I'm not 100% sure. It could be also, But it was something that I didn't see gradually over the so much year. It was more quicker. But again, it could be, it doesn't mean something happened quickly. It is not true, and something happened more slowly. It is true. Also, you cannot prove that. So anyway, and then a lama bought that land and they built a kind of temple. And also because Ganesh is Hindu, so also they want to also take care of that. So now the temple was built by the monastery and the lama, but inside there's two caretakers, one Hindu and one Buddhist, Yeah. Ganesh say, I don't want to get left out. And so there is that part. And interesting, if you go, and I think some people who have seen in there's one of the problem with the green Tara is, some Tibetan people, they are very devoted, and sometimes the devotion also. So they with mala, they rub, to get the blessings. because of that, it's smooth and all the clarity, you know, the Ganesh has more clarity, you know. So anyway, but this Tara, you can see is clear Tara. And then next to that, that I didn't see before, there are small, small things coming. If it is green Tara now, I don't know, it's not so big, maybe this big, or maybe a little bigger. And you see small things, people think maybe it's 21 Tara. But we don't know at this point. It's very small and without any specific clarity, very small. But it is almost like the stone is coming up like this, you know, or somehow. So I don't know, you know. So that is about the self-arising Tara in Nepal. If there is any self-arising statue or something that personally that I feel more likely to be true, I think I will. That will be one of them for me. Others, I'm not sure. I'm very um, uh, cynical. What? Skeptic. I'm very skeptic. Yeah, yeah. No, no, you can say because yeah.
So the second question I have is, I don't know, Geshe, if this is, if people know, but Lama Zopa Rinpoche, his drawing of green Tara though, has the eye here. Do we know?
That's a green
No,
eye.
yeah,
That should be white Tara. White Tara has 7 eyes in some versions of. Siddhamani Tara green with 5 Buddhas. 5 Taras. Yeah, this one I don't know.
that one.
Yeah, this is a green Tara with a third eye. I don't know. Normally, white Tara has. I think there's one version of Tara. I don't know all white Tara. You know, like 7 eyes, third eye and eye on. So normal 2 eye, then third eye, then 2 eye on 2 hands and feet. So there are 7. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Thank you, Geshe. Somebody mentioned Chitamani Tara. Is she the only highest yoga tantra Tara, or are there other highest yoga tantra Taras? And does she have a color? And what does Chitamani mean exactly?
Mm-mm. What is the money? I don't know. You know, of course, if you try to translate literally the jewel mind, Sita meaning mine and money, Ratna, you know, the jewel. Yes, it's a blue, not blue, sorry, green Tara, but with 5 other Taras on the 5 chakras. So it's similar to visualization. We did a little bit instead of the different syllables with a different color. It's the Tara, you know, white Tara, red Tara, blue Tara, yellow Tara, and the green Tara. You know, so that and the lineage of this Tara is a close, we call close lineage. And it happened, it was manifested or had the visions by one of the Paponga's masters. You know, one of the Paponga masters had that visions of that Tara. And through that, he received that Tara, he received empowerment and others. And that is how then he passed to Paponga Rinpoche, and then that is how it is passed. So the lineage hasn't been so long, that lineage. It's the same mantra. Om Tare Tu Tare. And I don't know, whether there is a other form of Hatha Yoga Tantra Tara. I know that is one. There could be, as I said, I don't know so much. Even Karmapa said, he said, he mentioned, he said, he studied a lot about different deities and Buddhas, and he thought he had quite good understanding. And then one time he saw a booklet that came from Tibet or something. And just there was so many taras. And he said, I don't know anything. There's so much there. So I think there is so much that I don't know, So probably there are other form of tara, Hatha Tantra, maybe which not very common and popular, certain practice, certain deities become popular at a certain time due to certain masters, because that deity is very strongly related to that master, and that master is very well known, and and then he passed that, and everyone started to practice that, and then sometime they might not become as popular with the times. So that also sometime. So I don't know. I think probably there might be, but I'm not aware. Yes, Shankar. No. Surya Gupta I'm talking Surya Gupta lineage about 21 Tara. Here we are talking about Siddhamani.
So about Chittamani Tara, Geshe. So Gilme Khenchen Bishop Lobsang Jampa gave an initiation a number of years ago. And I remember during that initiation, I think Venerable Rene asked for a body mandala empowerment. Would you explain, so with the body mandala, he didn't give it. He said we weren't ready, but what does that allow you to do? To visualize the taras at the different chakras? Is that what does the body mandala empowerment allow you to do?
Well, in Siddhamani, there is a Dharma empowerment and then body empowerment. And with body empowerment, then it is the complete empowerment. If you just receive the Dharma empowerment and not the body empowerment, then that means you have not received the whole empowerment. So normally, some teachers first give Dharma empowerment and then later they might give that. And some teachers, they will give together.
So you can't do the generation stage without the body empowerment, correct?
Yeah, if you haven't received the whole empowerment, then you might not be able to do the whole practice as it is sadhana. And that is same with other initiation, like His Holiness Dalai Lama's. I don't know where he was asked to give initiation or empowerment of, I don't know, Guya Samacha or Chakra Sambara in Australia. And within that there are 5 initiation, 4 initiation on the high yoga tantra, the vast initiation, the secret, the wisdom, the secret wisdom, and the word. And he gave the only first one, and he said he felt maybe they are not ready, So he didn't give the full, and he said he will give later, but maybe. And one time he also did with the Kala Chakra, Kala Chakra is even more complicating. It has more initiation than others deities. I think there was like 11 different. And one time he gave only the first few initiation. He said, even I give the whole initiation, you will not be able to follow it. And so even I give you will not be able to receive it because you cannot follow it, because there is so so many visualizations, so many things that you have to follow. And another time he gave and he said, no, I'm not going to give the whole things. Because anyway, I can give it, but most of you wouldn't be able to receive it. You wouldn't be able to follow it. But then at that time, Kamaba was there. His Holiness Sakya Tijen was there, and some others High Lamas. And then he said, well, there are some High Lama who can follow those. So he said, I will give, but I will just go through without much explanation. Those who can follow, they can follow it even without explanations. And others, even I try to give explanation, you might not able to follow, and therefore you will not be able to receive it. So that is, and in the old times, traditionally, that is what it does. They give the first initiations, not the complete initiation. And the students work with that practice over the time. And when have they work on that, then they will give the second level of the initiations and slowly the whole initiations, so yeah. Yeah, okay, then we'll do the dedications. Page number 16. Yeah, did we have from the same practice?
Shayla, thank you. Could you please go to the retreat text and page 16? Thank you.
This is on. W- 16, dedication prayer. Yeah? Is it there? Okay. Due to the merit of this virtuous action, may I quickly attain the state of Aryatara and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which is arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. Next one, in the land encircled by snow mountain, you are the source of all happiness and good, all powerful Chenri Sektinchen Gyatso. Please remain until samsara ends. You who uphold the superior moral way, who serve as a bountiful bearers of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplished magnificent prayer, honoring three sublime one, Savior, myself, and others, your disciple, please listen swiftly. Okay, we can do the next Lama Sabha one. Peerless teachers and assembly of the children of victorious one, Savaka and Buddha Buddhas, victorious Losang father and son, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge in infinite land, please bestow the virtues of goodness to accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you owe the amour of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of victorious one teachings, you always gateway through all happiness emerge for the mother living beings. You suddenly departed to peace, what a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of blessings of ocean of three jewels and the great wave of bodhicitta of children of victorious one, may the smile of reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. Multiplying mantras. Chum dende dishe sakpa da chumpa yang taba dzogpe sang namba nangze weje jabo la cha ca lo changjo sangpa sangpa chenpo kundo sangpo la cha ca lo ayata penza kriya awa bodane so om duru duru jaya mukhe so ayata penza kriya awa bodane so om duru duru jaya mukhe so Ayata penza griva buddhani so om duru duru ja mukhe so
Ayata Pensagriya Ababodani so Duru Duru Muke so Ayata Pensagriya Ababodani so Duru Duru Muke so Ayata Pensagriya Ababodani so Duru Duru Muke so Ayata Pensagriya Ababodani so Duru Duru Muke so Chomdende Dishe Shabada Chomba Yang Daba Zope Sang Menje La Bindure Uji Jabola Chatsalo Chomdende Dishe Shabada Chomba Yang Daba Zope Ngwada Molan Tamje Rabdo Dube Jabola Chatsalo. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
And we pray for the long lives of our resident teacher and our other teachers as well. Thank you.